What are the major concerns with estate planning? Are there situations where you think you've set things up the right way and then it just doesn't work the way you need it to at the end? Uh, There are so many great strategies out there, and it really does depend on the information that you get when you're setting up these estate plans. We're very fortunate to have attorney Joseph A. Marra discuss estate planning today, what the concerns are, and how to get those concerns answered right now and get your estate planning to work when you need it to. Listen in.
So what are our major concerns? Well, we want to, number one, manage during the event of a disability, right? We want to have someone available to make our healthcare decisions for us if we can. And we want to know the consequences of asset transfers. I mean, people say, oh, I'm going to go into a nursing home, giving everything away. Well, that may or may not be a good idea. And we'll talk about that. Your assets passing on death, are they going to pass as you intend? And that's also something that people have problems with. So, and of course, estate taxes, which quite frankly are not as big of a deal as they used to be. Protect your house, okay? Know about step up in basis. You want somebody to get it. You don't want to people give their houses away to their kids. Bad idea. If you bought your house for $40,000 and now it's worth $400,000, and let's say you put $100,000 into the house, just your basis in the house is $140. If you give it to your kid, their basis is $140. If they inherited from you, their basis comes a step up in basis, meaning the fair market value on date of death. So if you give it to them and your basis is $140 and they sell it for $640, they have a $500,000 gain, right? If you give it to them on the date of death, and they get it as a result of your passing, either through a trust or your will or whatever, then their basis becomes $600,000, your value on date of death. And if they sell it for $640, their gain is only $40. So very important to understand these basis rules. I've seen plenty of people come in here, gone to attorneys, they don't understand the tax issues, don't understand the elder law issues. They just transfer it out. Not necessarily a good idea. Every circumstance is different. So you have to consult with someone who knows what they're doing, and you have to give them complete facts and information, okay? Some people want to provide for their grandchildren's education. There are 529 plans, college savings plans, there are UTMA plans, there are trusts for grandchildren. Once again, giving gifts can potentially be a problem because the gifts are assumed to be for Medicaid planning purposes. It could be brought back in. Not necessarily a grand idea, but once again, that's a subject of more detailed consultation and discussion. What's an estate tax? Well, the government basically takes a snapshot of what you're worth and they impose a tax. For most people, the tax doesn't matter anymore because for federal reasons. You'll see here, federal tax, you have to have $11,700,000 before they impose a tax on your estate for federal purposes. Double that for spouses. And they make it pretty easy. So say you never did any tax planning and then the first spouse dies and you go, oh my God, we have $20 million. Well, the second spouse still has a way of getting around the first spouse's failure to plan. That doesn't necessarily apply on the state level. Now, some states like Florida don't have a state tax, so you don't have to worry about it. But New York does. And New York estate tax kicks in when one has an estate of $5,930,000. So I tell anybody when they're over $5 million, you should really start doing some estate tax planning. You have to assume that your value of your assets are going to go up over time. And if you're coming into me and you haven't come into me for a while, that might as well do some estate tax planning now, okay? New York exemption has a cliff tax. Basically, that means it goes up pretty quickly. So you'll notice on this little chart, I know it didn't come out too clearly. See if I can blow it up a little bit. No, I can't, but if you have a $5,930,000 estate, no estate tax. But you go up to a $6,100,000 estate, your tax is basically $381,000. So it's not insignificant in New York. You have to plan for it. Other states have similar taxes in the Northeast and other parts of the country. A lot of the southern states like Florida do not, or they have a lot less tax, okay? People get confused with gift taxes too, okay? The gift tax and the estate tax are unified, because what people would do is say, I'm going to avoid the estate tax by giving my money away. Well, they said, we're not going to do that. We're not going to allow that. So if you gave money away during life, well, it's going to affect you. There is an annual exclusion. It's indexed for inflation. Right now, it's $15,000. So you can give someone $15,000, and it's not going to affect your estate or gift tax issues. But let's say, and you and your wife, if you have a marriage, that could be $30,000 to the same person, right? But let's say you give $115,000 to the same person in the same year. This is an annual thing, okay? So you give $115,000 to the same person in the same year. So you're $100,000 over the annual exclusion. What happens? Okay. Well, if you look at the numbers again, $15,000 is your exclusion. You're now over that. Remember, we said that up here, they don't bother with your federal estate until you're 11.7. Well, now since you've given during your life $100,000, it now goes down to 11.6. For most people, does that matter? No. But people, in New York, same thing. They'll drop you to 5.8 instead of 5.9. So that's how giving more than the annual exclusion affects your gift taxes. If you're under $6 million in New York State, or if you're under 11.7 and lives in a state with no estate tax, the gift tax is irrelevant. Don't even think about that $15,000 exclusion. It means nothing to you, okay? So one thing about New York does not have a gift tax, but it does have a clawback.
Thank you so much for listening to our video. If you have any questions about the information that you've heard today, please don't hesitate to contact the law offices of Joseph A. Marra. They are experts in what they do and more than willing to help you get the right strategies in place so that your estate planning makes sense and that it works the way you need it to. Thank you so much, and we'll look forward to hearing from you.